The special order is the bane of any restaurant worker. Sometimes the cooks have had enough and decide to maliciously comply with the request. Here are 15 people who were served literally what they requested.
Because it's what you deserve.
Generous amount of olives.
Twister olives?
Olives. Extra olives. Lots of olives.
Olives are a common fruit in the Mediterranean, and that includes Italy. Italy is third in world olive production after Spain and Greece. Olive oil is also extremely common in Italian cooking, but olives are not the most common thing to see on a pizza. So when this customer asked for a generous amount of olives on their pizza, the cook certainly delivered.
Bring out the olives!
You can't get much more generous than giving someone an entire tree's worth of olives on their pizza. The restaurant undoubtedly lost money on this pizza. Olives are expensive if you don't live where they're grown. If you squeezed this pizza, you would probably get enough olive oil to make a salad dressing. Instead of extending an olive branch, the customer should give a slice of this to anyone they need to make peace with.
And it's not exactly pizza either. It's almost pizza.
Lots and lots of cream cheese icing.
He lied about the cream cheese.
For a lot of people, the icing or frosting is the best part of a baked good. It's got a lot of sugar in it, and it often has another flavor to complement the floury or cakey dough part, like chocolate or strawberry, or in this case, cream cheese. And the softness of the icing allows you to press other objects into it, like chocolate chips or pieces of fruit. But it's definitely possible to have too much of a good thing, as shown here by this Reddit user who wanted lots and lots of icing on their cinnamon buns. This is still very edible, but it's also very likely to give you a bad stomach ache. Maybe divide it amongst friends, or cut it up like a cake and eat it a little bit at a time, one slice per day.
Is there even a cake under there still?
A cake with eggs.
How do you want your eggs?
It's nice to get a cake with a personalized message on it. It makes the cake unique. And some bakeries will do more than just write a message on the cake. They can turn it into a work of art with pictures and intricate designs. But that doesn't always happen. In 2022, a man from Nagpur, India, ordered a cake from a bakery. In the details of the order, he wrote, quote, "Please mention if the cake contains egg." So the dutiful baker did exactly that. They wrote "contain egg" on the cake itself. The period is a nice touch to make the sentence complete.
That's not what I meant.
One wonders if there's just one singular egg in there. That would be an unusual recipe for a cake. The grammar of the sentence almost makes it seem like an imperative, a command: contain egg or else. It's not known what the man did with the cake after he received it, but let's just hope he or whoever the cake was ultimately destined for is not allergic to eggs.
No eggs.
An ice cream sandwich.
Ice cream sandwiches!
If you've never heard of it, you should know that an ice cream sandwich isn't like a typical sandwich. Instead of bread or toast, the ice cream is put between two chocolate wafers. Regular bread would just get soggy as the ice cream melts, and warm toast would melt it into a soup before you could eat any of it.
Ice cream soup!
But that didn't stop some McDonald's employees from giving this person what they asked for. Do you think they didn't know that an ice cream sandwich needs wafers? Or were they trying to improvise and failed horribly? Either way, this was probably a very unique tasting experience. Though the jury is out on whether it was a good tasting experience or not. Would you want to try this literal ice cream sandwich?
Get bloody wafers with it!
Nothing.
Nothing. Something. Nothing.
Can nothing be something? It sounds like an old Zen proverb designed to teach you about materialism, but it's a real topical question here. When you say to the waiter you want nothing, you expect, well, nothing. Not an empty plate or bowl, but just nothing. This customer on a cruise got something else instead. The word nothing. Hopefully it was free.
But nothing in this world is free.
Who's going to say that they paid for nothing? Would they put nothing on the receipt? Or was it completely without charge? The chocolate sauce had to cost at least something, plus the cost of a wasted plate in the dishwasher. And another issue, did the customer actually eat this? And if so, did they use a spoon or fork? Or maybe they just licked it like the spoon when you make cookie dough.
Okay, just eat your food.
First time here? Well, we're always serving up new videos, so hit that subscribe button and never miss out. It's that easy. You're the best. Every protein.
Protein! I need protein!
This Reddit user was asked by a, quote, nutter to make a burger with every protein they had. With an uncountable number of layers, this burger is about as tall as that plate is wide. It's the eighth wonder of the world, the Leaning Tower of Protein. There's more meat here than a deli counter. And apparently, the starving customer not only ate the whole thing, but also the fries.
Protein's protein.
How did they eat the gigantic burger? Did they turn it sideways and eat it like a shish kebab? Did they just pick it apart and eat it like a deconstructed burger? Did they cut it up and eat it like a big meat salad? Or did their mouth unhinge like a snake and they ate it vertically? We may never know. And we probably don't want to.
I'm not eating that burger.
Garlic sauce.
Garlic bread.
No, this is not a picture of a science experiment gone wrong or a strange piece of modern art. This is the result of when a student at the University of Waterloo in Ontario, Canada, asked for as much garlic sauce as humanly possible. No word on what the main meal itself is, but it's completely encased and submerged in this bath of garlic sauce. The cook took their order to heart. That container is filled right up to the brim. Any more would spill out. Any vampire within a 10-mile radius would probably have been immediately destroyed by this concoction. Does this mean it technically counts as a soup now?
Garlic, dish soap, garlic, and a bag for the garlic.
Popcorn chicken.
No, popcorn chicken is not back.
Popcorn chicken is a classic fried chicken recipe consisting of boneless pieces of chicken individually breaded and fried. It's great for dipping since there's so much breaded surface area and you don't have to worry about biting into bones. But you have to admit that the term is somewhat misleading since there's no actual popcorn to be found.
What, no popcorn?
Except for here, where the language barrier created this monstrosity that was ordered in Spain by a Twitter user. We can only imagine what the chefs were thinking when they heard the phrase. I mean, if you never heard the term popcorn chicken, what do you think it would mean? This is probably the most literal interpretation of the term possible, but it's technically valid in that sense. Yes, it's logical in a grammatical sense, but not so much in a culinary sense.
You mean figuratively!
No, I literally mean literally.
Cherry Coke.
Maybe a little Coke?
Yeah, more Coke, more Coke.
This person requested a glass of cherry Coke. Presumably, the restaurant didn't have any and needed to improvise. Or maybe they just didn't know what it meant. Cherries plus Coke equals cherry Coke, right? It's a good thing that they understood that Coke meant Coca-Cola and not the other illegal thing.
That wasn't the kind of Coke I was talking about.
You'd think they would at least cut the cherries up or use some sort of cherry syrup, but nope, just straight up cherries. It looks like the world's most depressing sundae or root beer float. The person never specified how the drink tasted, but it's never nice to have inedible cherry pits inside your drink. Just pretend they're ice cubes and stomach it like an adult.
Ice cubes. All you can eat.
Sausages.
You should decide how to cook your own sausage.
In the ancient days of the internet, in the pre-emoji era, people used to use text-based emoticons to create shapes and faces. For example, a colon, hyphen, and a right bracket makes a smiley face. One of the most common emoticons that is still used is the less than sign and the digit 3, creating a heart on its side.
And what's that?
That's an emoticon.
Nowadays, this can cause some confusion, as a Twitter user named Claire learned. She sent an emoticon heart to her husband about sausages, and the dutiful husband responded by cooking 2 sausages. 2 is certainly less than 3, so while the husband may be good at doing math, he isn't exactly the best at context clues. Let's just hope that the 2 sausages tasted good. Maybe quality beat out quantity here. And do you think the wife ate both of the sausages, or did they have one each? So many questions about this incident.
You're eating a huge sausage right now.
Extra pepperoni.
Pepperoni, pepperoni.
How much pepperoni is normal on a pizza? Most people would probably say 1 layer and no more. Extra pepperoni would probably mean you want 2 layers maximum. And even then, you probably wouldn't want the entire pizza covered in pepperoni as a solid layer. You want to see the sauce underneath.
I know where to get the sauce. That's easy.
However, this person received much more than that. The pepperoni completely covers the rest of the pizza and is even slotted vertically in between the slices. There just might be more pepperoni here than bread. You have to wonder if you could even taste anything else in the pizza. The sauce, the cheese, the crust. Or is it just pepperoni flavored?
I'm ordering pizza online. Is everyone okay with pepperoni?
Cut up sandwich.
Cut the damn sandwich in half.
There are a number of different ways to serve a sandwich after it's been completed. You can put a spike in the middle to hold it together, or you can pour some sauce on it if you're feeling fancy. You could even cut the crusts off if the sandwich is for a picky eater. But one of the more contentious ways of serving a sandwich comes up when cutting it. How do you like your sandwich to be cut? Along the diagonal or vertically through the center? Do you like it cut in 2 parts or 4? Or maybe you just bite into it without cutting it at all. But how about cutting a sandwich in unevenly sized trapezoids?
What kind of shape is that?
That's what this person received when their waitress asked how they want the sandwich cut and replied, "I don't care." Do you think they cut it all at random, or is there some precise pattern here that the cook followed? Maybe there's a hidden code inside all these cuts, which when deciphered says, "Be more specific next time."
Or can you do it all by yourself?
A 1-inch pizza.
Size doesn't matter because it does.
Typos can make a world of difference, but perhaps even worse than a misspelling or a missing letter is a missing digit. You change the number by a factor of 10, as this person can attest. They meant to ask for a 10-inch pizza, but they missed typing the 0 and so asked for a 1-inch pizza. It's also not the only thing they misspelled. If you look closely at the order, it reads, "Can you do it in 1 inch instead, please?"
She missed a 0.
You have to wonder if they were fully sober when they wrote that order. It's honestly quite amazing that the pizzeria actually went through with the order. They would have needed to make a custom dough size with a custom amount of toppings and really custom everything since no one orders a 1-inch pizza. Do you think the customer cut it into slices like a normal pizza, or did they just eat it in one bite, since after all, it is very bite-sized?
I don't even chew it. I swallow it like pills.
Extra pepper.
You burn your mouth? Cannot feel my tongue.
Be careful what you wish for when asking a chef for something, especially when you know the chef personally. This person said to their fiancé that the mac and cheese needed 20 times the pepper. It's not clear if he measured it exactly or not, but he certainly did pile on the pepper just as requested. This thing probably made everyone within a mile of it sneeze their brains out. Do you think the fiancé ate this mac and cheese, or did they just leave it for the other person to eat and suffer by themselves? Spouse of the Year material right here. Maybe don't plan the wedding just yet.
Now I want it to be spicy, but not too spicy.
Red pepper flakes.
Red pepper flakes up his ass.
Size matters. This applies to many things, and grocery items are one of them. If you go to Costco or another bulk retailer regularly, you may be used to buying things in large amounts. But if you're not a regular shopper at one of those places, buying something too large for your pantry can be a hassle. It just sits there, hogging valuable real estate.
Yeah, we cleaned out the whole pantry.
So it was for this shopper, who put a request for red pepper flakes without asking for size. This gigantic container would be enough to last some people for a lifetime and would almost certainly go stale before it can all be used, unless you work in a restaurant or put flakes on everything you eat. But for the vast majority of people, it's just taking up way too much space in the spice rack.
Ta-da! It's the spice rack!
We've got more. Just tap or click for another great video. Hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. And hey, leave us a comment.